the Morgan dollar, the true American classic, to a point where we had a 21, a 23, and we're going to have a 24 Morgan dollar as well. If you go back to the originals, going back to the 1870s, 1880s, etc., there are some needles in a haystack that we need to talk about. One of them, actually, the first year of issue from the only Southern Mint, and that's up next. That coin being the 1879 New Orleans. And tonight, look at the uncirculated coins in front of you. They are gorgeous. Let me pause for a second before we get in, because many of you are probably saying, hold it, the Morgan dollar was introduced in 1878. And you are 100% correct. In 1878, San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Carson City all struck the Morgan dollar. But the New Orleans Mint was closed. The story of the New Orleans Mint is a special one. In 1838, they opened their doors to help the westward expansion, right? We needed coins in the middle of the country, East Coast Philadelphia, West Coast San Francisco. Well, in 1861, the Civil War breaks out. It's the only mint in the South. Louisiana takes possession of the mint from the U.S. government, and then the Confederacy takes it over from Louisiana. And when the war was over, the U.S. Mint, as a whole, the government left it closed. We got this, right? Well, the Comstock lode created enough silver, finally in our history, the largest find in America, to create this dollar in 1878. So the three mints that I mentioned earlier started in on production. The problem was the majority of people now were in the middle of the country looking to move west. We had no coins. We had no choice but to open up the New Orleans Mint again. So when the Morgans are issued in 1878, that whole year, they're moving machinery from San Francisco, from Philadelphia, newly manufactured, to New Orleans to start this trend. This is that coin. Now, mintage figures matter, always do, and they help you stack up how many. New Orleans as a whole, they started a year late, again, 1879. We've mentioned that a few times. The Morgan dollar series ended in 1904, 27 consecutive years, and then reopened in 1921 while they were waiting for the peace dollar. Well, New Orleans as a mint closed their doors in 1909. So they were not making a coin in 1921. So the last New Orleans Morgan was, well, 1904. That means there's only 26 New Orleans Morgan dollars. If you add them up by mintages and just rank them, this one is number 5. So the first year of issue is one of the rarest in the entire series. But then the first chapter of understanding is how many versus how few. And the red books, the guidebooks give us that information. Now with NGC, PCGS, ANACs out there doing what they do for a living, right? Doing what they do. We now have 39, 40 years of what they are seeing individually. And it changes perspective. It gives us more information. And we're making decisions, we want to have more information. The more information we have, it's a little bit easier to process the thought pattern. Here are some numbers that will shock you. They should shock you. In the big three in 1879 were Philadelphia East, San Francisco West, and New Orleans South, right? NGC, this is just one of the services, but it gives you the picture. They're at 117,935 San Francisco 79S's they've seen. And in uncirculated condition, they sell that coin for $185 today. Okay. But that's a coin. What does it mean? In Philadelphia, there are only 16,033 coins that are known. All grades again. Not just uncirculated, all grades. We're looking for volume and flow. And they sell that for $180 today. And that 79p is a special coin. But if the 79p is special, the 79O has to be that uber special coin. Know why? Because they've only seen in 39 years 11,828 of them. Making it the most infrequently found needle in the haystack of the big three. My competition sells this coin for $238. Tonight we're $100 less, and then some. Now, also, those of you that know New Orleans mints as a Morgan dollar mint know this: the reverse. When is the last time you've seen a New Orleans minted Morgan with the high point being the breast of the eagle, right in the middle, and you see actual detail? You can actually count the feathers. Yeah, that's how special this grouping of coins we have is. They're just wow. The high point on the obverse is right above the earlobe, but look at that. You get full detail in the ear and a full hairline as well. The open field should look like this. But remember, bag marks can change it. Look at this. You can just see how the feathers come to the middle. How often do you see that? The neck feathers. Wow. The outstretched wings getting to the tips. Great wow. And again, the mint mark differentiation, the bottom of the coin, D over O is the O. The Big Easy, the New Orleans minted coin. Love it. Love it. So you want some other fun tidbits? They throw me a lot of information. A lot of that I knew, but the details are always changing. But these didn't. Do you know that milk was sold in glass bottles for the first time ever in this country in 1879? I didn't know that. Gilmore Gardens. How many of you know what that is? Well, if you're a New York City fan, you know it became Madison Square Gardens, renamed after President James Madison. The first practical light bulb. Right? And then here's one you don't think of, right? Hawaii. The first railroad was built in Hawaii. Just fun tidbits. Guys, we got to put a 30-second clock. Sorry. I just sometimes like looking at what's going on in history. Kind of ties together sometimes the story. $129.95 for a significant first. Then here's one last thought to think of. More fuel for the fire. Good fire. 79O or the 2021O. 175,000 were struck, sold out in less than 3 minutes on May 24th of that year. And today it's a $250 to $300 coin. Is anybody scratching their head like I am? This is the original. This is the first. This is where the idea came from. And it's significantly less. So we beat the new one. We beat all of our competition on the old one. You got to give us a call.